Praise the Lord. Good evening, everyone. Let us stand for invocation by Dr. Wilder, followed by the pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America.
Let us bow our heads. Heavenly Father, we thank you here today. We thank you for Lynchburg City Council. We thank you for our citizens, our staff members, our police, our firefighters, our workers that continue to work for our city to make it better. Give us the guidance and the wisdom to lead this organization. Give us more love in our city, love in our community, our state, love in our nation, love in our world, that we will have the love of you, the love of Christ like never before. Let's continue to show the love to one another. Let's show respect to one another. Let us make sure we're unified, not by differences of parties and other things that come to divide us, but we're together, united by one, to serve you and to serve our community. In your precious name we pray, amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amen.
Mayor, at the top of our meeting, we've got two very great recognitions, the first of which is Years of Service recognition for retired Treasurer Robert Bailey.
Mr. Bailey, I'd like to read this. You can come forward. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Bring the whole gang.
It's a great honor and privilege to read this to you and your family. Tonight, we honor a man who has served our city with pride and dedication. Robert Bailey was born and raised in Lynchburg. He graduated from E.C. Glass High School, later earned his degree from University of Lynchburg. In 2016, the people of Lynchburg elected Robert as treasurer. They trusted him again in 2017 and 2021. For 9 years, he served the city with honesty, hard work, and care. He helped manage city funds, collect taxes and fees, and made sure payments were handled properly. He did an important job. He did it well. Robert brought professionalism and respect to the treasurer's office. He worked every day to serve the people of Lynchburg. His service made a real difference in our community. Robert, thank you for your dedication and giving so much to the city. It is now my honor to present you with the key to the city.
Robert is here with his wife, his son, and
Go Bailey. Speak for me.
Yes, sir.
I want to thank Mayor Taylor, council for this. This is one of the highest points of my political career so far. I thank y'all, and I want to thank the citizens of Lynchburg for their votes and for the continued support they gave me over the 9.5 years. The staff here that I've worked with in Mitch Knuckles' department, Commissioner of Revenue, and up in finance with Donna Witt, everybody's been great. And I hope that continues with all of the other, my new treasurer, Mr. Triplett, and my former deputy, Mr. Witt. everybody's doing a great job trying to do the best they can for the city. And that's what it's all about. Citizens first, right? Right. So thank y'all again very much. It's been great. Appreciate it.
Next, Mr. Mayor, we have a recognition for Economic Development and Travel and Tourism Week proclamation. Here to accept is Ms. Arjette Upshur, Director of Economic Development and Tourism, and Mr. Andrew Marks, Assistant Director of Tourism. Economic Development Week and Travel and Tourism Week. Whereas a strong and resilient economy is essential to the quality of life in the city of Lynchburg, supported by strategic economic development efforts that drive investment, create jobs, and foster long-term community growth, alongside a vibrant travel and tourism sector that generates revenue and supports local businesses. And whereas in FY 2025, the City of Lynchburg's Office of Economic Development Tourism facilitated more than $121 million in business investment, including Delta Star's second announcement in 2 years of $35 million in capital investment and the creation of 300 new jobs, reinforcing Lynchburg's position as a center for advanced manufacturing innovation. And whereas continued efforts to advance site readiness and future development, the Economic Development Authority was awarded $4 million from the Virginia Business Ready Sites Program to facilitate the pad-ready development of sites A and B in Ivy Creek Innovation Park. While small business and entrepreneurship initiatives such as Co-Starters have supported over 130 participants and helped launch over 30 new businesses in Lynchburg, and whereas the Lynchburg's tourism industry continues to be an essential economic engine, generating $409.9 million in visitor spending and supporting 3,838 local jobs while attracting global sporting events led by a premier professional disc golf association partnership secured through 2028 that drive measurable revenue, provide significant tax relief in city households, and ensure the long-term vitality and prestige of our community as a world-class destination of intent. And whereas strategic promotion of outreach efforts have expanded Lynchburg's visibility and competitiveness, driving increased visitation, business interest as demonstrated by over 254,000 website sessions directing users to local businesses and event listings on lynchburgvirginia.org, and engagement with local assets, further supporting economic growth across both sectors. And whereas together economic development and tourism efforts play a vital role in sustaining a diverse economy, supporting workforce opportunities, and ensuring a strong future for the city of Lynchburg. Now, therefore, he, Larry Taylor, Mayor of the city of Lynchburg, does hereby proclaim May 4th through 9th, 2026 as Economic Development Week and Travel and Tourism Week in Lynchburg, and commend the Office of Economic Development and Tourism for its continued commitment to strengthening the city's economic foundation, supporting business and workforce growth, and enhancing the overall prosperity of the community.
Amen. Boom. Andrew and I are here to represent all of the businesses that are in the city of Lynchburg, all of the stakeholders in the tourism side of the house. This is a beloved city to represent. We are happy to serve every single day, but we want to thank each one of you for your support. I want to thank city leadership for your support. This doesn't just happen by accident. I want to thank all the citizens that support the funding that comes through our office. We try to give you a return on investment that is much greater than the funding that you gave to us. So thank you so much. And as we say, LH loves you. Andrew, got any? Who's left?
All right, Mr. Mayor, tonight's city council agenda is divided into 4 sections: consent agenda, public hearing, public comment, and general business. The first section is consent agenda. It includes routine items that can be approved with 1 vote. I did have a request from a council member just shortly ago to remove February 12th and February 24th minutes from this consent agenda,
May I have a motion?
to remove them and move them to the next meeting, I would think.
Move for approval.
Mr. Faradi?
I rarely ask for this because you do a very fine job. I would ask February 10th be removed as well. There was just 1 line missing. And with 70 plus papers of minutes, it's hard. So I'll get with her to make it right. So that if I have my tally correct, that'd be February 10th, 12th, and 24th.
So looking for a motion to approve January 13th, January 29th, and February 23rd.
Second.
Second. Let's-
All right.
Okay.
All right, initiating the vote now. Motion passes 6-0. Okay, thank you. Motion passes unanimously. All right, the next section is public hearing. These are required by law, directed by council procedure. Staff will give a presentation. The public can give comments. Individuals have 3 minutes to speak. If speaking for a group, you have 5. Group speakers must say which group they represent. Each group gets 1 spokesperson. Each speaker must say their name, the locality of residence. After public comments, the public hearing will close and the matter will rest with council. Agenda item number 9, consideration of adopting an ordinance changing the zoning of a certain area located at 1516 Florida Avenue. Ms. Rachel Fresheisen, city planner, will provide a summary of the request.
I, Sterling Wilder, a member of Lynchburg City Council, am the full-time paid executive director of the Jubilee Family Development Center Incorporated, and hereby disqualify myself from participating in the following transaction, which will appear before Lynchburg City Council for action on April 28th, 2026, pursuant to the tenets of the Virginia State and Local Government Conflict Interest Act. I hereby declare I will in no way participate in the said transaction, nor in any related discussions, negotiations, etc. And I provide this document to the clerk of City Council for the city of Lynchburg, so my disqualification is a matter of public record. Thank you.
Ms. Rachel?
Thank you, Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of council. Purpose of this petition is to rezone 1516 Florida Avenue from B5C General Business Conditional and R4 High Density Residential to amend existing proffers and allow for the expansion of the existing Jubilee Family Development Center. Planning Commission recommended approval of this item at their public hearing on March 25th, and this item was also presented as a business item briefing at your last work session earlier this month. Our future land use map recommends neighborhood commercial use for the area. These are intended to consist primarily of office, retail, personal service, and restaurant uses that are scaled to be compatible with and serve their immediate neighborhoods. The property is split zoned. The front portion along Florida Avenue is zoned B5C General Business District Conditional with R4 High Density Residential in the back. If the if the petition is approved, the petitioner proposes to construct a 1-story addition to an existing structure. The addition would be approximately 2,500 square feet and would serve as additional classroom space for the Jubilee Center. As mentioned previously, the property is split zoned, the front portion being B5C. The proffers on this portion limit the development of the site to a particular layout, which this proposal does not align with. The petition proposes to replace these proffers with the one in the report. The rest of the property is zoned R4. The topography at the rear of the property is very steep, making development unlikely. However, there is a flat area shown in the dashed line on the map here, which the petitioner proposes to include in the B5C portion. No improvements are currently proposed in this area, but changing it to the B5C zoning would allow for more flexibility in the future development of the site. Thank you.
Thank you. Would the petitioner like to make a presentation?
Thank you. Russ Orrison with Perkins and Orrison. A very short presentation. Ms. Frischeisen did a great job. I assume you've had a chance to read the narrative that was submitted. It's pretty straightforward, and we can answer any questions you might have.
Thank you, sir. Is there any questions? Okay. Thank you. We'll call you back if we have to.
Thank you.
Is there anyone like to speak in favor?
Dr. Beth White, Ward 3. I've been asked to read this letter. It says, I would like to thank Lynchburg City Council and community present for consideration of rezoning for the Jubilee Family Development STEM Center. I've been very fortunate to have had a loving family and community support me to follow my dreams. My parents, Deems and Grace Melvin, exposed me to so many experiential activities that led me to using a non-OSHA certified chemistry set to create an explosion in my mother's living room that fueled my curiosity, but also landed a couple of paddles on my backside. Side note, I'm so glad he did not talk to my husband. This intervention led to many STEM activities that created an interest to major in the sciences, engineering, and eventually be the first person from the city of Lynchburg to fly in space. I want all kids from all zip codes to have the same opportunities that I have had so they can all rise and find and follow their dreams. Dr. Wilder, Jubilee staff, and the community believe that all kids and families deserve a chance to rise. With the rezoning of the Jubilee STEM Center, I believe we can inspire, motivate, and grow the next generation of STEM explorers that will help Lynchburg, our state, and the world do incredible things. Thank you for your time and consideration. Sincerely, astronaut Leland Melvin.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to speak in favor?
I'm old school. And I'm not going to blow anything up. I'm sorry I have to follow Leland's speech. I'm Tance Lawhorn. I live in Lynchburg. And thank you for the opportunity to speak in favor of the rezoning efforts on Florida Avenue. I've been affiliated with the Jubilee Family Development Center in one capacity or another for over 20 years. I've watched it and sometimes helped it grow from a neighborhood center to a neighborhood network to a critical community resource in the heart of our city. Jubilee offers a myriad of programs for local youth, including after-school and weekend programs and a full-day summer camp. It also offers a wide range of classes and programs for unemployed and underemployed adults, or for anyone really looking to make a change. Our newest program, housed in the Leland Melvin STEM Center, offers programs for youth and adults that focus on science, technology, engineering, and math. Skill sets highly sought after by Lynchburg's major employers. Demands for these programs have become so great that we have outgrown the building that only opened 5 years ago. Approval of the rezoning request will allow us to add 5 new classrooms, a patio, a learning lab, and a ramp that will allow access to all who want to participate in the programs. Jubilee staff and directors firmly believe that in order to affect change and lift individuals and families out of poverty and earn a living wage, we must evolve and expand our programs instead of revolving in the same orbit and resting on our laurels. A yes vote for the rezoning will allow us to do just that. I've been speaking about the buildings and the programs, but Jubilee is just so much more than that. Some years ago, we founded this or I didn't, but I feel like I might have. It's a homegrown local organization without a national headquarters. This local citizens banded together to fill a need and provide resources, and other citizens arrived to avail themselves of those resources, and they became like a family. Members of the family that participated in these programs have become engineers, attorneys, nurses, members of the armed forces. There are high school and college grads, PhDs, CNAs, mechanics, young entrepreneurs, teachers, you name it. But the point is, they're all wonderful members of our community and willingly and freely give back to our city and its inhabitants. Jubilee has spent 27 years making a difference in Lynchburg with its innovative, instructive, and supportive programs. Your yes vote will allow it to continue changing lives. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else want to speak in favor?
I read something, but am I allowed to say something on my own?
Yes.
Dr. Beth White, Ward 3. This is coming from me, not something that I was asked to read. I took a tour of the STEM Center probably about 2 years ago, and I was very impressed by what I saw over there. Subjects that I personally could never stand in school, science, math, technology, whatever. Just the joy on these kids' faces when they're going through the STEM Center. Maybe I would have learned to have liked science and math a lot more And, who knows what my career path would have taken. But the kiddos that live next door to me, they absolutely love, much to my chagrin, they love science and math. I'm working with them on the history part. But one thing that I've noticed in the years that I've been at Liberty, the School of Engineering has just exploded. We've got so many different types of engineers, and it's all because of the STEM, not necessarily Dr. Wilder's STEM Center, but just so many STEM centers in general. And just anything that we can do to foster education in our children and get them so that they can love it, we should be all for. So thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. I'm speaking for myself, Kimberly Dyke Harsley, resident here in Lynchburg. The name says it all. Jubilee Family Development Center. Man, woman, and child can grow in this. Our two of our sons have benefited immensely from Dr. Wilder's Building Young Men program. That's what's needed. Hopefully those programs can be expanded into this new building. It makes sense, and it's going to make dollars for those who come through. So thank you.
Is there anyone else who would like to speak in favor of this project? Anyone wants to speak in opposition? Okay. Ms. Alicia, is there any voicemails?
There are none.
Okay. Public hearing is now closed. May I have a motion? Ms. Reed?
Yes, I would love to make a motion to support this. Sure. Thank you. Okay.
Chris can, either way. I'm there.
She got it.
So may I speak to my motion?
Yes, ma'am.
So I loved hearing from everybody and how special to hear from Leland Melman's letter. What a special night to hear about the work of Dr. Wilder and how far it's come and how far it's going to go. And, many of you know that I work for another organization that does similar things. And one thing I think it's important that Lynchburg understand is that when we talk about being community partners, in the nonprofit world or partnering with the schools, we had this conversation with our joint school board meeting the other day. It really is about being partners. There's no competition, because when we're serving the children, we should all work together for the same goal. And so whether it's Jubilee, Boys and Girls Club, other organizations in the city, doesn't matter. We should all be cheering each other on, because everybody should be doing their best to do exactly this and see growth, because we want to see the best for the children in our city. And this is a wonderful thing. I'm so happy for you. I'm so happy to be able to support your hard work, the donors behind you that are making this possible, because this means that the future of many more children in our city are going to be great. And so this really excites me. And I hope that my peers will support this too, because we're all about the children right now. We're all talking about what we want to do to make their futures better and how we can all come together as a community and do that collectively. So this is one way to do that. So I'm very, very happy to be able to make a motion to support this.
Ms. Timber, you want to speak to your second?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This one is happily a no-brainer for me. Very happy to support STEM, very happy to support the expansion of STEM, and very happy to support the work you're doing in our community and that outreach, especially with young men, as Mr. Kimberly mentioned. And I'll just leave it at that. Thank you, Dr. Wilder. Happy to support it.
Mr. Missions?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is an easy one to support. And, it's Well, I think you just need to hurry up and get it done because I think the demand's already there. So the faster we get through this vote, the faster you can move forward, the faster you can start serving these kids with this expanded facility and do great things.
Mr. Ferrari?
I don't say it enough or at all, and so and for that I'm sorry, but I am thankful for you, and I have learned a lot from you, even though we have different views on so many things. I have learned a lot from you, and I've learned a lot from the Jubilee Center from afar. And I've seen it grow into, in my short time in Lynchburg, be a community cornerstone. And I look forward to seeing what the future holds for the continued work that you do there.
Mr. Deemer?
I don't want to be left out. Thank you. For years, I served as assistant chief and chief of the Jubilee precinct during the voting, so I got to see firsthand the work that's being done with the kids over there. And they were often in session the same time we were doing the election. So we got to look out the kitchen door and to the gym and see the good work that they were doing. I love seeing students from my alma mater, Liberty University, working hand in hand to serve the kids of Lynchburg. And it really made me feel good. So I have no qualms about supporting this expansion, and I wish you much luck.
Well, all I can say is praise the Lord, brother. Thank you. All right. Congratulations.
Don't you vote, Sterling. Oh, there is an abstain button. I didn't even
Okay,
realize
thank
there's
you.
an abstain button on this thing.
Congratulations.
The motion passes 6 with 1 abstention.
Thank you. I think we can clap.
All right, agenda item number 10. Consideration of adopting a resolution approving the allocation of FY 2027 CDBG and home program entitlement and reprogrammed funds. Ms. Melba Walker, Grants Manager, provide a summary of the request.
Good evening, Mayor Taylor, Vice Mayor Deemer, and members of City Council. Tonight, City Council is conducting a public hearing on the fiscal year 2027 Community Development Block Grant, CDBG, and home program funding recommendations of the Community Development Advisory Committee, CDAC. CDAC conducted a public meeting on March 23rd and reviewed the submitted CDBG and home program applications and formulated recommendations for consideration by City Council. These recommendations and project summaries have been provided to you. The Community Development Block Grant had a total of $778,316, and the home program had a total amount of $320,517.96. The projects that were recommended for funding included city administration, the Diamond Hill Neighborhood Plan, Phase 2 improvements in the upper campus, Miriam's House for the Central Virginia Continuum of Care, Coordinated Homeless Intake and Access, and Miriam's House Extreme Weather Center. The home program provided city administration, Rush Homes for the Carolyn's Place Rental Housing Development, Greater Lynchburg Habitat for Humanity with home construction, and Lynchburg Community Action Group for first-time homebuyer homeownership assistance. Council members Dr. Wilder and Ms. Timmer are council-appointed members of the CDAC and participated in the recommendations. At the conclusion of the public hearing, Council member Dr. Wilder, as chairman of the CDAC, will present these recommendations to you for approval. A public notice was provided in the newspaper and through social media. City staff has not received any written public comments prior to the meeting.
Thank you. Is there anyone who would like to speak in favor? No. Is there anyone like to speak in opposition? Are there any voicemails?
There are none.
Public hearing is now closing. May I have a motion?
Move for approval.
Speak to your
Yes, yes, I'm so honored to speak for this motion. The CBG funding is amazing for our community. It really helps persons get out of poverty with so many great organizations from Rush Homes, Habitat for Humanity, Lynchburg, First Time Home Buyer Program, the Homeless Program with Miriam's House, and so many other areas, the agencies that they support in our community. It shows how much stronger we are together. We pull resources together. And I want to commend all the nonprofit area agencies for working together in all these projects and making sure our citizens are looked after. I want to thank Ms. Melba Walker for her and her team for the amazing work they do in orchestrating and administering this project over the past several years. So we're thankful that we have these programs that help our persons get out of poverty, help them be first-time homeowners, which is what I really love. And I'm so thankful that we have a part of this in our city. I wish we had more funds to give out, but again, I'm glad for the funds that we do have, that we can use them to the betterment of our citizens. Thank you.
Ms. Timmer?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. It's a Dr. Wilder night. So it's fun that we get to celebrate in that way with both of these. It's an honor to serve on CDAC and really appreciate your work, Ms. Walker. It's a joy with the second year, and I really enjoy the committee. It's a joy serving with you, Dr. Wilder. I really enjoy that time. And you said it all. Essentially, this is our ability to utilize these federal funds to go into key services when it comes to homelessness, housing, home purchasing opportunities that fall within those federal guidelines. And they fill a number of key gaps within our city, whether it's with the cold weather shelter, that's a low threshold shelter during the winter months, and being able to fund that and utilize that for our citizens, or whether it's first-time home ownership or partnering with Habitat for Humanity in their home buyer building program that's really intricate in a way that it not only helps the home buyer, but it helps sustain the communities that they're moving into with the way they select lots and the threshold of the product that they're putting out. So it's a real honor to serve on the committee, and I'm very grateful to hopefully approve this tonight.
Anyone else? No? Cast your votes.
Motion passes 7-0. All right, the next section is public comment. Speakers have 3 minutes to speak. If you're speaking for a group, you have 5. City Council listens to your comments and may ask the city manager to follow up. Citizens often express different opinions. To make sure everyone feels comfortable speaking, there are no applause, cheers, or jeers. Do not intimidate, insult, or disrupt others. Do not use profanity, promote businesses, or campaign for office. Agenda item number 11. Hear from a group representative regarding councilmember conduct. Fable Forest, Central Virginia Young Democrats. Please restate your name, group represented, and locality of residence.
Hi, Fable Forest, a Lynchburg resident, and I'm speaking as a member of the Central Virginia Young Dems. I'm here to speak on the behavior of 2 council members during the March 10th City Council meeting. Forgive me for having not made it to the last one. My health did not cooperate. I will not be addressing Councilman Feraldi's behavior, as he himself acknowledged it as inappropriate, apologized to me personally outside in the hall, and to others online publicly. And he was angry on behalf of citizens. Understandable. I will be speaking on the dismissive and insulting behavior of Marty Mistrins and Kurt Deemer. After citizens had become rightfully upset with Kurt, several of them took the time to bravely attend that meeting and to speak up through trauma and through tears. What they got in return was Kurt doubling down, apologizing to one individual, and deciding to instead pick fights with fellow council members with the assistance of another, as well as the attempted shaming of them for not approaching him in a Christ-like enough manner, suggesting that it was inappropriate for someone to call his behavior out in public, saying Jesus would want them to talk to him in private. There's a whole lot of directions we can go about just how incorrect that is, and I hope you have a pastor in your life who can guide you away from using the Bible for your own vindication and the detriment of others and their rights. Marty Mistrins, your behavior, he said, and I quote, "This is wasting time on something ridiculous. This doesn't do anything other than waste time. It's petty, personal, vindictive stuff." As if that was not bad enough, he included a blatant, insulting lie, telling Councilwoman Reed, "You get your friends to slander the vice mayor." As an aside here, Miss Reed, I've never met you. I don't consider you a friend, but I do respect you in this room. And as if the two hadn't embarrassed themselves enough with their shows of unprofessionalism and disregard of the citizens, the two of them went on to sit together like middle school girls, laughing it up as another council member got upset. Marty making a show of saying he's so jealous. I find this behavior disgusting. I find myself upset that they were not corrected in this behavior and that they were allowed to lie up there about the women who came up to speak. I also find it in a way hilarious. Let me share some direct quotes from Marty and Kurt to illustrate this. Kurt said, "I respond to the people. I work for the people." Up next, some personal favorites considering his misuse of Matthew 18. "Public accountability matters." Again, quote, "Accountability is not chaos. It is the job voters demand." And one more, "Accountability is not chaos. And transparency, even when uncomfortable, is the foundation of good government." Marty, we are accountable to the voters, no one else. So here I am, a voter and a citizen of Lynchburg. I will publicly call into account this behavior. You choose to work for the people. You don't get to cherry pick the responsibilities that you hold. You do not get to pretend that everyone else must be held to different standards, that some can be called out publicly while you yourself can only be called out in private. Your claim that people did not approach you in a Christ-like enough manner is false and in direct opposition to your position. Do you want to be the vice mayor or not? Marty, you want to run again for council. Will you reconcile your past disregard, disrespect, and lies with your potential next stint up there? You wanted to wave around a sign at that meeting, complaining about, "Look who is silencing who." What does that say to the people who come up here to speak? That you laugh and that you lie about the people who came up here to speak. And then you turn around and lie about a council member as well, saying that she had encouraged that. Would anyone consider this behavior working for the people? I would come up here and complain that the grass isn't growing green enough outside for me. And as a citizen, that's my right. And as a council member, it is your job to listen and to respect. Now, I hope that the council will do better in regards to respecting citizens in the future, and that council members Marty and Kurt will correct their behavior and their lies. Thank you.
Thank you.
The next section is general business. It includes new items for discussion. Agenda item number 12, consideration of adopting a resolution approving the city's participation in the settlement of opioid-related claims against the 6 remnant defendants. The items discussed during Finance Committee meeting earlier today.
I defer to the chair of that committee, Ms. Reed.
Yes, thank you. So we did discuss this in finance. If, Ms. Wood, do you want to address it, or Mr. Patrick?
Yes, this was addressed in Finance Committee today. The city currently receives funds from the opioid settlement. Currently, we've received $827,155 from that litigation. We've also received $193,421 that went to the Roads to Recovery for purposes that fit within these guidelines. And then the city has also participated with Campbell County to receive $1,946,372 for Horizon Behavioral Health Crisis Receiving Center. So what we're bringing forward today is there are 6 regional distributors that are now included in this lawsuit, and it takes council action for the city to join this lawsuit. It is $97,625,000, of which the city is expected to receive $20,286 and some change. So it's not a lot of money, but this is money that falls under this opioid funding, and it's just more money that can go to help some of our partners in the city that we need their help.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Ms. Reed?
Thank you. I'll go ahead and make the motion. It doesn't require a second. It did pass unanimously in finance, but if anybody wants to address Ms. Witt with questions, go ahead.
But just like, thank you, Ms. Witt, for the information. Again, these funds are so important to continue fight all the drug abuse and the opioid crisis in our community, and it's so prevalent. So again, all the resources coming back into our community are crucial. So I'm so glad we as a city can find additional resources and how we can partner with so many other agencies to make it better for all of our citizens. Thank you.
Anyone else? Ms. Timmer?
Oh, no, sorry, not a question. I was just going to thank you for the explanation, and thank you, Matt, as well, and I will be voting in favor. Thank you.
Thank you. No more discussion? Let's vote.
Motion passes 7-0. Agenda item number 13, consideration of adopting a resolution approving the issuance of up to $365 million in Economic Development Authority revenue bonds for Centra Health, Inc. for improvements to Lynchburg General Hospital. This item was discussed during Finance Committee meeting earlier today.
Good evening, Mayor Taylor, Vice Mayor Deemer, and members of council. This item is a request from Centra Health for the issuance of up to $365 million in revenue bonds through the Economic Development Authority of the City of Lynchburg. This is conduit financing, and the city bears no responsibility or liability, neither does the EDA, for repayment. These bonds will support a major expansion and modernization of Lynchburg General Hospital, including the new patient tower, expanded emergency services, and infrastructure improvements. Centra, as many of you know, is one of the region's largest employers with more than 7,000 employees, and they generate $61 million annually in local purchasing. The authority has completed the required public hearing and recommends approval. And as Alicia said, this item has gone to the Finance Committee today for approval. Also want to let you know that in the audience is T.W. Bruno, who is the bond counsel for Centra. The chief legal officer, Hank Creasy, is here, as well as Pavlina Durham, who is the EDA's attorney. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Reed?
Thank you. This also unanimously passed at finance. I'll go ahead and make the motion. I think it's a great idea. No cost to us, good expansion project for the city. I think it'll be beneficial to us all. And so far, all the Centra projects have been wonderful. We're excited about it. So I think it's a win-win for all of us. Thank you.
Any more discussion? Oh, Dr. Wilder?
I'm just thankful for the healthcare institution we have in our community, that we don't have to go outside of our region for good healthcare. And they continue to expand, and continue to grow. We can get services right here in our community to better those services, to better the waiting time in the emergency room. So we're so thankful for all the expansion, and we're looking forward to that.
Mr. Ferrari?
Thanks for giving my wife a job.
Mr. Mission?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. You know, it's interesting. I love what Centra's doing. I love the development in the area and the construction, what they're doing to modernize the facility. But Centra Health is probably one of the things that I get tons of feedback about that we as city council really don't have anything to do with. And, you know, I'm curious. I don't even know what the question I'm trying to ask is, but do we have any leverage? I guess is the first question in approving this. Is there anything that we could ask of Centra or that we could, I'm just asking that question. Or is it just a straight up, we've got to approve it or deny it?
I don't really know the answer to that.
I mean, I think that's a question that we need to know the answer to. It's $365 million of refinancing. And it's the question that I'd be happy to have anybody speak. I'm just trying to have a conversation. It's not anything against Centra. It's not anything for Centra. It's just that I get tons and tons and tons of feedback about Centra and the lack of competition in the city. And I think my question is about that, if that makes sense.
And I can only speak from the economic development lens. I'm just so incredibly grateful to have Centra.
And I am too.
Here, absolutely, and I'm sure you are. And, you know, I know in many municipalities, there is normally a central healthcare provider there that they are incredibly grateful to have there. So I think the other side of it is there are plenty of doctors and practices around here that can also provide service, not to the level the hospital does, but you know, people have a choice. They can go to Charlottesville, they can go to Raleigh, they can go somewhere else. But I for one, am just incredibly grateful to have Centra here. They're an economic engine for the city. With that many employees. And so the economic development.
I don't disagree with that. I'm just asking a question. If the answer is no, then it's easy. If the answer is yes, I'm just curious to know what the options are. But
I think the city council can ask any kind of question. The Economic Development Authority is what the mechanism is for these bonds to go through. But it does have to come to city council for a resolution.
But I understand that didn't. I asked the question of, does city council have leverage? That question has not been answered. If there's anybody in this room that has the answer to that question, I'm happy to entertain it. If there's not, I'm happy to support it. But I would love to just know that question, the answer to that question.
Mr. Ferrari.
Just because I mentioned it in a coy manner, my wife sort of worked for Centra, not quite, but it's such a large organization. I believe I can speak freely and independently on this process. Just want to get that on the record. Regards to the question, what leverage? What is it meant by leverage? I don't understand what the question is.
I mean, I think the biggest thing, and I don't even know. I'm just throwing it out there because, again, represent the citizens. Citizens bring stuff all the time. Yeah. And,
Mayor.
you know, the question is very simple is, are we lobbying against anybody else trying to get a certificate of need in the city, trying to put in a second hospital, or are we not? I mean, I think that's really what it comes down to, because I think competition always makes things better. That's all.
Mr. Ferrari.
Thank you, Mayor. I still don't quite understand. This isn't a transaction. It's not what's in it for me. This is, are we going to issue the bonds, or are we going to issue or not? And they're the one or two industry in our city and the region. I don't even understand what the point of the question is, other than to just find a reason to vote no. If you want to vote no against one of the largest employers in the city, be my guest.
I'm not. I'm just asking.
Mayor, I
some
didn't, this
information.
isn't a question, this isn't a debate.
No, you actually made it, you made an assertion about me,
Right.
Mr. Mayor, and you allowed him to do it.
Right. The
You allowed him to
the
do it.
motion on the
Right.
floor
I'm
is
allowed
to
to-
approve. Okay.
And I'm
Let's-
asking a question because we
The
have a
motion
right to a point
on
of
the-
information to find out information from staff. I've asked the question multiple times. I would like an answer to the question.
Mr. Attorney, could you answer that question?
Sure.
please?
So I don't think Ms. Upshur is avoiding the question. I think the issue is staff hasn't had to deal with this question yet. So we need to understand what is meant by leverage. So if we're talking about something like leverage, the place for that probably to have happened would probably have been at the level of the EDA. So my understanding is council's role in this as the highest authority in the city. That's why we're here approving this bond. So if council as a body wants me to work with Mr. Creasy, Mr. Bruno, Ms. Deerham to see if there's conditions we can put on the approval or something like that, we can look into that. The answer may be that we cannot.
Yeah, I don't know. That's
Especially
what
if
I'm
it
curious
has not been part of the EDA. But if that is a holdup for the majority as a whole, certainly we can look into that. And Mr. Bruno, Mr. Creasy, do you happen to know those? Sure.
I would love to hear.
My name is Hank Creasy. I'm the Chief Legal Officer and Senior Vice President of Centra Health. I was here in 2023 when this council adopted a rezoning that applied to about 18 parcels that Centra owns. And we were all here thinking about the project that you're about to enable through these bonds, which is the expansion of Lynchburg General Hospital in a very substantial way. And if you go to look at the campus now, you'll see concrete coming out of the ground already. I can't answer your question about leverage because it's really, I think, in my view, inappropriate to the discussion that we're having. But I can answer the question I think underlies that about competition. I want City Council to appreciate that as part of modernization, we're building 2 new hospitals in partnership with another healthcare provider.
There we go.
LifePoint Health. So in terms of your comment about competition, in a way, Centra is doing that itself today by partnering with others. So I can tell you that it is important to the Centra Board and to management of Centra that we have absolutely the best health care that this community can afford, can provide, and that Centra be a big part of that. But it doesn't mean that Centra has to be the only part of that. So when I first got to Centra, I know that there's a project for collaborative health partners. They asked for a COPN on a CT. They asked for that. Centra did not object to that. That's competition in Lynchburg. We have competition in primary care and other services, and you'll likely see more of this as time goes on. But I take that, what was underlying your point about receiving questions in the community very seriously, and we at Centra take that very seriously because we want to provide the best health care that we can. What's before you this evening is this resolution that needs to be adopted in order that Centra can complete a 266,000 square foot tower addition to Lynchburg General Hospital that will provide a new emergency department. That's a critically needed asset for the community. And one interesting thing about that, you've probably seen an announcement that we have plans to construct a freestanding emergency department, which is very unusual. In other communities, these are used to often are situated in a way to kind of fend off competition. In our case, we know that that's one of the challenges that the hospitals had is good care in our ED. So not only are we wanting to construct and in the process of constructing a new emergency department as part of this tower, but we're also going to build out on Timberlake Road a freestanding ED, which does require that we get a COPN, but we feel confident about that. So I want to emphasize the urgency and importance of the resolution that we've asked for. In addition to the emergency department, there'll be an entirely new operating suite on the second floor. There will be 12 new operating rooms that will provide for modern healthcare for the next generations in this community. Each one will be large enough so that a robot could be used in the room, which is what young physicians expect, young surgeons expect, and to do their care. And new mother-baby, as you know, a new OB floor, a new mother-baby floor on floors 3 and 4, additional beds on the 5th floor, and some administrative space on the 6th floor. So I think you'll find that this is going to be a fantastic addition to Lynchburg General Hospital and urgently needed for the community.
Mr. Mayor, that answered my question, and I appreciate it. And I know it may have seemed or felt uncomfortable, but
sure,
I'm really glad that we had an opportunity to hear from you and hear that, because that kind of information, we don't always get that out about Centra. And I think that the public needed to hear that, and I thank you for that.
Yep, happy to answer that.
Thank you, Ms. Creasy. Thank you. Ms. Timmer.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Mr. Creasy, for your comments. That was very clarifying, and we do get a lot of questions just on the healthcare side, but that's not something that we're as involved in as council. So I'll follow up with you, Kent, and add that to my roll call items as far as conversations and questions, but that was very helpful. I will be sad to say goodbye to mother and baby at Virginia Baptist. Had a great experience there, and hopefully more kids in the future, but that's down the road. So anyway, looking forward to the new suites, but we'll miss Virginia Baptist, and I'll be voting in favor tonight.
Anyone else? Let's vote, please.
Initiating the vote now for approval.
There you go. There it is.
Thank you very much. Passes 7-0. Agenda item number 14, consideration of adopting a resolution approving the issuance of up to $25 million in Economic Development Authority revenue bonds for Virginia Episcopal School.
Good evening again. This item is a request from Virginia Episcopal School for the issuance of up to $25 million in revenue bonds through the Economic Development Authority of the City of Lynchburg. This is also conduit financing, and the city is not responsible, nor is the EDA, for repayment. These bonds will support renovations to student housing, athletic facilities, and other campus improvements. VES employs approximately 80 individuals and generates over $20 million annually in purchases from Virginia-based companies. The authority, the Economic Development Authority, has completed the required public hearing and recommends approval, and this item was presented this afternoon to the Finance Committee. And I would also like to say that VES's bond attorney, Tracy Shaw, the current headmaster, Garth Ainsley, and the incoming headmaster, Henry Clark, are in the audience, as well as Terry Lanham, the CFO, if you have any other questions.
Thank you. Defer to the chairman of that committee, Ms. Reed.
Thank you, Ms. Upshur. Yes, this did come to finance today. We're very happy to support it. I'm going to defer to some of the comments that Councilman Feraldi made, which was just that we we don't celebrate all the great things that VES does for our community, and we need to do a better job of doing that because you do great things. So I'm sure he'll speak to that. So I don't want to take all of his words for him, but he brought up some really great points, and we're happy to support this for you. And so, yeah, happy to do it. I'll leave it there. Oh, I'm making the motion to support it.
Mr. Missions?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is an easy one to support, but I would love to hear from somebody from VES to tell us what we're doing, because that would be great to hear about what exciting changes are coming up on the campus.
Thank you. And so I'm Garth Ainsley, the current headmaster. I'm stepping down into June, and Henry Clark is going to take my place. Talk about competition. We feel like we face an awful lot of competition especially we're primarily a boarding school and in the boarding school space. And I guess a lot of peers that have bigger, better, nicer campuses, and we are blessed with a beautiful historic campus, but that means it's old and always needs renovations and work. And what we do, I think, is pretty amazing. We literally bring families from all over the world to Lynchburg, Virginia. And so I think our parents love sending their kids to Lynchburg. They know that they can, if their child says, I'm in downtown Lynchburg on a Saturday, they know their child, and they don't need to worry about, sorry, did not mean to hit that. They know that their child is safe, well provided for, and there's great cultural opportunities and great restaurants and so much going on. So we've really introduced the city of Lynchburg to just generations of students and families. And we are this spring, in May 23rd, we will be graduating our 110th class, which is quite an achievement. So these funds are going to go to restoring a historic dorm. That's one of the original buildings on campus that is in dire need of some refurbishing and to give it more appeal to families. We're also going to make some significant investments in our athletic fields and put turf fields and lights in, and we hope that those will also be opportunities for us to have more groups from Lynchburg on campus using some of those facilities. Henry,
Thanks so much for the opportunity, and thanks for your nice words at finance. I don't have much to add other than the bulk of the money, $15 million, will go to the restoration of a 110-year-old boys' dorm. You can imagine 110 years of 50 boys in a dorm has had the wear and tear that these bonds will help us fix. So we really appreciate your consideration and support.
Easy. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Timmer?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is just for curiosity's sake. Will you be, or do you have opportunity to layer historic bonds with the EDA bonds when it comes to the dorm renovation?
We are seeking historic tax credits.
Okay,
for
yeah.
this project, so that'll be a good source of funding
Cool.
for us, but also ensure that we're restoring this building in a very thoughtful and respectable way.
That's great. I love that. I was just curious with the age of the building. And y'all were our soccer rivals in high school. So now you're in my backyard, but excited to hear about the athletic fields, and go Griffins. So, but I'll be supporting y'all tonight. Thank you so much.
Mr. Deemer?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Yeah, y'all were our soccer rivals too at LCA, but we were always friendly, and it was a great competition, great thing that happened. I also can vouch for your bond attorney. He's one of the best attorneys around. So.
Yes. Dr. Wilder?
Yes, they're a great partner in our community. Also, I worked with Mr. Shaw of the school board. Oh my gosh, probably about 20 years ago or so, a really long time ago. So I worked with VES for several years. Two of my nieces graduated from VES. We've had several kids of Jubilee to attend VES, and one young lady will be starting in the fall at VES as well. So we would appreciate that partnership. They had a former VES alumni, Mr. Formwalt, was a math tutor at Jubilee for years. He saw us on the Oprah Winfrey Show. He was about 80 plus years old, about 89 years old. He says, I'm old, I'm deaf, but can you use me? and he volunteered at Jubilee for several years. He's passed on, but we appreciate the partnership with VES and what you're doing in our community. Also bringing the students out into the city and volunteering and working to make our community even better. So I'm excited for you and exploration, the additional expansions that you're doing here in our community. Thank you.
How old is your total school over there? How old is it?
So this will be our 110th year. This is our 110th year.
Have you all registered with the National Historical
We do.
Society?
Yes.
Okay.
We have several buildings that are part of a historic landmark, which also makes us eligible to get the tax credits.
Yes. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Chris?
What about? So I'll just say I'm a part of a 30 plus men's league for baseball, fast pitch. And we had a little bit of a scheduling conflict, but we've got games over there. So thank you for hosting already, and I'm looking forward to playing at night.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Sirs, thank you all. Let's vote, please.
Initiating the vote for approval. The motion passes 7-0.
Thank you all. This is our meeting, huh? Our next meeting is at 4 o'clock, second room, May 12th, second floor.